Hi and welcome. It's me, Judge Desire for Knowledge, and this week episode of my channel is on legal matters instead of Know Your Truth, Real Talk. I'll get back to that next week. I had to catch up with legal matters, which I do once a month. So the subject on this legal matters show is in the matter of child support, and we know a lot of people do, whether they do forcibly, voluntarily, it doesn't matter, some way or form. If you have children, you're going to need this information, but I'm only giving basics right now. I might do a part two. If you guys want to email me or put in the comment box something that you would like to ask or for me to include later in the next part, maybe I'll do it if I do a part two. That seems reasonable. But please like, share, and subscribe so that other people can also benefit from the Legal Matters show that I do monthly as well, along with Know Your Truth, Real Talk, which is a talk show I do weekly on Saturdays. I'm out and about when I'm traveling. It's called I'm Out and About Travels. I also do that one, and my grilling shorts and my It Is What It Is shorts. They're pretty cool. I haven't done it in a while. I've been really busy with the holidays, finishing and starting, and went by so fast. I'm catching up with work. So basically, let's start. In the matter of child support. So here I'm going to introduce the keywords and phrases used and needed to understand in child support proceedings. One is you must first determine the filing location. Family court is usually the location. The county is where the child and the custodial parent resides. Custodial parent, I'll explain what that is later. I just want to get through this. I have events tomorrow, so I'm taping this ahead of myself so that I can get to that event on time. Hopefully, I'll be able to tape that event. After filing location, um, you have to do it in the county where the child and the custodial parent resides. I said that already, but just in case, I will be explaining what custodial parent and non-custodial parent, or custodial party, non-custodial party. Either way, it's the same thing. B, collect all the information that are necessary about the non-custodial parent. The courts cannot pull up with social security numbers and find it out for you. If you have a social security number, you're good. But if not, things like I would say the closest place, or the if you remember where they live, their last residence or their previous residence. If they're not living there, then it should be forwarded to their original residence now. Their workplace. This is for the people that are filing or wants to file. You need all these information. Get all the collect anything you can so the courts can help you um, gather the information to get the order done on child support. All right. So basically, it's really basic. You just got to get most of the information would be the address of that person, the last residence they were seen at, if you don't know, or the previous one before that, if you don't know. Some people do know where they are, or their workplace, and when you could serve them there, whatever the case may be. The facts remain. You need some information on the parent that you are seeking child support from. Um, and then you can file the petition. Once you find that county and that family court, you can file the petition for child support or custody or both. Then you serve the non-custodial parent. That would be the parent that doesn't have the child at the residence. And so I'm going to explain that now. Custodial parent is one who the child or children resides with, with about 50% of the time, unless custody is filed for full or partial custody. So that's what a custodial parent is. Most likely it's the person the child lives with, just to break it down. Most of the time, at least 50%. Non-custodial parent is the parent who gets visitation of the child. They don't have the 50% um, of them all the time. They'll get visitations, maybe weekends, maybe holidays. So you can define which one you are. Basically, if you're non-custodian parent, you're the one paying the support. Another word that we use in the court is custody, because usually when this happens, now someone else wants custody, or fights come through where fights may happen, or disagreements, I should say, where the parents now are going to try to fight for custody and battle each other for it. When custody is when the court decides the best interest of the child, and where they should be placed. And there are two parts of custody. There's legal custody and physical custody. I'm going to explain physical custody first. It's known as the residential custody, which most likely it's prevalent. Residential means that they reside with them, and they are actually responsible for the physical care, the actual physical care and supervision of the child. Now, a legal custody, this parent has the right to make, or guardian has the right to make important decisions about the care of the child. If given joint custody, then both parents must have to agree on the decisions together. And that's really important, that they come to an agreement together. Otherwise, forget it. It falls apart, and then a judge has to decide. If the judge gives one parent the sole custody, then that parent has the right to making major decisions for the child. If there is no court order in place, then both parents have equal rights to physical and legal custody, which works out better not to have others involved in your business, whether it's the courts or anywhere else. Um, shouldn't have to be involved in situations. Children shouldn't have to be put through this. Actually, when they're young, they usually go through a lot of, how can I say, depressive states in school. They don't do their work right, so it's better if the parents can actually work this outside of court, but usually it comes into the court because of the anger and distress. um, and some people aren't paying or taking care of their child, whichever the case may be. All right, and are not supporting the child in any form or manner, which means that they're not paying, and they're not there, or they're negligent, and whatever the case may be for you, or in a person's situation. That's when these issues come to the courthouse. When I was in that part of the court, family court was my first year ever working in the courts, and my first time starting in the courts was family court. So I remember all of these things based on seeing it factually right in front of my face. So um, then there's another one, stipulations. Stipulations are written agreements between both parties that is signed by both parties. So for instance, if you hire a lawyer instead of going per se on your own to file this case, or vice versa, you have a stipulation made. It would be between the parties, whether the parties have hired attorneys or not. A written agreement between both parties means that they are going to go and abide by that agreement, and it can be changed at any time if someone else brings in a different stipulation, or wants to amend a stipulation. But usually they don't amend it. They'll usually file another stipulation to clarify all the things that they want, if it wasn't clarified in the first time and agreed upon. Anyway, let's go on to the next one, modification petition. This is after you file the petition for child support, or custody. Well, we're going to deal with for child support now. So modification petition for child support comes in after the original petition was filed, when a parent or attorney changes the child support conditions that were previously set, whether it was the petitioner or the respondent. Um, Petitioner means the person that petitioned the court, and the respondent is the person responding to it. So basically, the words are really basic. They're not too legalese. If you look at most of the words, you'll find out why they were set in that way. But the petitioner is the one that filed the first petition, the court order for child support, and then anyone can modify the petition of the parents, whether it's the attorneys that do it themselves or the parents. One could say, I don't want to pay this much. Not doesn't mean you're going to get it, but you can modify it if things have changed in your status, whether you be without a job or you making less. I know if you're making more, most people won't go unless it's the opposite side that wants to take the rest of the money, which I've seen that as well. So, modification petition for child support when a parent or attorney changes the child support conditions that were previously set. The attorney for that particular parent. And modification petition for custody is pretty much the same when a parent or attorney changes the agreements previously set as well. Um, and those modifications go to the judge to see if maybe now we can both take care physically, have physical and legal custody or joint custody. The case may vary, and I'm only doing the basics right now because it's pretty huge. Family law is pretty big, and child support is a big part of it. So we're going on next to visitation petition, an order filed by a parent in order to get visitation of a child or children, which is usually, again, if this case was already implicated, sometimes people file for visitation rights if they weren't given that right before, or if the court order was filed and wasn't included in it. Whatever the case may be, it could be 100 scenarios at this point. So someone would file a visitation petition, an order filed by a parent in order to get visitation of that child or the children if there's more than one. And come back to a court order. I wanted to initiate what a court order is so that when you get a child support order, you're filing the child support order, but a court order is a decision set by the judge and slash court. So in case you get a court order, anyone can get a court order from support court. Things can change. The judge can make a decision. You will get that court order by mail, or now that what we have is electronic filing, so you can get it sent to you via email if you're set up with that program. All right. So it's called the New York State Electronic Filing System. Okay. New York State Courts, nice chef. Filing system is the new thing, so that some people that can't make it to court are going to be able to file from home, follow the directions. I will do a case on that. I will actually do a legal matters on that, how to file for any case. All right, one day soon, maybe next month. This legal matters is for this month here, the month of excuse me, January. Excuse me, I need water. All right, so that's what a court order is, a decision set by the judge slash court. Same thing. Well, not really, but it's still the court. Child support order. Um, a child support order is one that is must be paid to the parent or guardian with custody of the child until child turns 21, or if disabled or in college, then 25. What you do is you go to the family court for a court order for child support, and that's how you start with that. And being those are the things, the basic few things you may need. I probably do a part two soon. But what not to do in child support court? Okay. So one thing I think is really important is do not miss the court date set on the calendar. Whatever monies was asked for by the petitioner will be given to the petitioner out of default for non-appearance. So it will be called default, and you'll be there for non-appearance. You don't say anything, you don't hear anything. Don't think it goes away. These cases are usually sent out multi places so that they can find you in some form or manner, because you're going to pay if you don't start paying. Once it's set and you default, there are opportunities to go back and try to talk to the court, to try to plead to the court, file a motion to the court for why you were in default. But if it doesn't go that way and you eventually feel like it's just going to go up in the air and everything's going to be okay, it's not. They're going to go after your DMV and after everything they can, shut you down so that you can't drive or do anything or travel. So be very careful about child support and doing those things by not appearing. If you have another child court case, they are reasonable. The courts, we are reasonable. One case can supersede another. Family court is one of the highest supersedes. However, if you have a criminal court case appearance on the same date of child support, you will be superseding it with the criminal court case, which therefore you can stop the family court proceedings by giving the information, collecting the information. We should have it already in our files, but if not, then you would need to let us know so that we can clear you and make sure that you're not going to be on default on that date because you have a different court that supersedes. Now, if it's not a court and it's work, your employer would have to let us know why you cannot make it. And you don't want to get your information involved with your employer. So you would need to get a letter that you need to work that day or whatever the case may be. Just do not miss the court date unless you, God forbid, there was no other way. All right. B is do not bash the parent, either side, because it doesn't look good on you. The judge looks at you in a different manner because bashing someone because you're there, the court has nothing to do with what happened, and it doesn't look good for either party to be bashing each other in front of a judge. Um, Besides, you have children, and we look at it as what are these children going through? So be careful about bashing parents and getting into any big violent arguments or whatever. We do have court officers, yes, we do, a lot of them, and that are prepared to 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 take you out of the courtroom and escort you out the building. We've seen it a lot. And then that doesn't help your case because the judge has the right to default that case even if you showed up because you wouldn't listen. You must follow rules when you're in the entity of the courthouse. This is not your streets. This is the courts. You know, the streets stay in the streets. You don't own the streets and you don't own the building. So you will be escorted out and they can just either dismiss the case and let that person win. And this is in any case, not just child support, or default it in child support and that person will get the monies without you even having a chance and opportunity to say why you shouldn't pay, because everyone legally has to pay, or why it should be lowered. All right, because usually people come in and say they shouldn't have to pay, whatever their reasons are. There's a lot. And I don't want to go through that right now, but do not bash the parent. All right, either or. Dress attire must be appropriate if you want to be considered adequate to take care of a child, because we do look at the way you carry yourself when you come in. That is not a part of the answer to everything, but it's like you're going to an interview. What kind of impression do you want to give? Do you want to give, I'm a bum on the street looking, and there are bums that will have to, but you're not. If you can put too little, I mean, you don't have to wear a tie and all that. Just dress appropriately. A lot of people don't do that when they come. They come with their sagging pants, mini skirts, and stuff like that. Now, if it's a mini skirt and it's classy, that's different from trashy. So if you're a female, please, and you have children, don't come in there looking like you walk the street corners, because most of them that come in there do, and it's sad to see that they have children. And the men too with the baggy pants. I'm not trying to um, bash anyone. I'm just saying it's not appropriate. Think more of yourselves when you do go out to professional places, especially interviews, because you want to work, right? And you want that job, you're going to do your best. Well, the same thing with the court. You want the best thing that can happen for you, and you want to make an impression. That's what I meant to say, right? You want to everything to come out in your favor. It may not, but that doesn't help when you're not doing what you need to do. Um, so I wanted to go to ongoing payments, ongoing. They're ongoing because they go on for as long as the child is an adult. So they are made by the custodial parent until the child becomes an adult. Usually, like I said, 21 unless they're in college, and or disabled, it would be 25. The disabled adult, because they need to help if they have any type of dysfunction mentally that cannot be able to provide for themselves or take care of themselves, then that child as an adult can receive up until 25, I believe, and then you would have to ask the court to further it. I'm not sure. I've never seen it done for disability because I've never had any case that went that way so far, further than 25. But child support can also be ordered during a divorce proceeding in Supreme Court as well. So usually, child support can come when someone files a court order, or when someone's filing a divorce proceeding, matrimonial court in Supreme Court. That's when they are then ordered to the judge, either marital, you know, things that belong to both sides, material, um, monies, houses, whatever the case may be. Well, this is the same with child support. They'll start working child support from there, and then it would go into, sometimes it will stay in Supreme Court, or it may end up in family court afterwards. All right. So, my question here, with everything going on, and I've seen so much, and important part of all of this is the children, and we are legally liable for them. We brought them into the world. We are legally responsible. I'm sorry to say, until 18, most of us, but with child support is 21, and they are still young adults. So it should be automatic that you'd want to do that for your child at 21, whether you're female or whether you're male or female. It doesn't matter, because sometimes there's the shit, everything ships, um, turns the other way. Everybody thinks the woman takes care of the child, but sometimes it's the other way around. So whomever is paying the child support, um, is the person that is giving to the parent that has the child, which is called custodial parent, which I was just mentioning. So the non-custodial parent, I was thinking about, a lot of things that I notice happens to them, and it's sad because I think they still get 33% they have to give of their employer wages, gross, and whether they're getting that gross or it's being siphoned somewhere else, you're still going to have to give that amount depending on what your yearly annual is. And I'm not going to go into that today because I do not have the charts. I no longer work in that part of the courthouse. So this has been years. So you have to update yourself. There's a lot of reading you can do online and things like that. But either way, I was wondering, with all that being said and all the monies that is giving, why isn't the non-custodial parent able to collect on child care tax credit? I always ask myself about that, and why aren't they entitled to collect taxes on the monies they have put into child support for 21 plus years? It just doesn't seem fair to me that non-custodial parents doesn't get any credit for taxes while they are the ones paying for the care of the child. And in some cases, the child or children aren't even being well cared for by the custodial parent. And I've seen this in family court on personal. It's sad. People I've known. These parents use the monies for themselves or their needs, and not of the child's needs, and that needs to be addressed. I personally believe that I have personally witnessed this, and the children or child grows up into an adult with no savings from or savings account for their adult lives, or college education monies to go to school. Although the custodial parent was able to get both child support, and which is hefty, may I add, amount for most. Like I said, it's a 33%, I believe, or it could be more now. And child care credit also is a hefty amount. I believe they give $1,000 per child. So if you have two, three, four children, that person's getting your child support and $4,000 as long as they claim it. And once one person claim it, the other cannot, which I don't find fair. I think if they want to take care of the child and you're paying the money, okay, well, let the custodial, non-custodial person, party get the tax credit, child care credit, at least to put back in his pocket. It's still going to go back to them, but or even have the child care tax credit split in two. Instead of 1,000, they both get 500. Whatever the case is, it's not fair. So I think there should be a law that changes who gets the child care credit, or if both can get it. Um, and the one that is the one putting in the funds in the first place. I believe that. But to be fair, if everyone want to, we don't know what any parent actually doing. Some are actually doing their job, but to be fair, is putting in the ones that are putting in the funds in the first place, not just the custodian parent. All right, because they take care of the child already, and they're getting paid to do so. Besides, they're supposed to get paid to do so because children take a lot of money um, to raise, so it does take two. So either way, I think it's still clearly important that we be fair and impartial when it comes to at the end of the year taxes. That child care credit is the one putting the funds. Those are the ones, the custodians are the ones putting the funds in, and they should receive it, not just the custodial parent, because they take care of the child. Also, we are led to believe that they do, or we are led to insinuate. So we can have this scenario where, let's say, the custodial parent hasn't been doing the job, like I said. They're collecting that, and then they're going to collect child care credit, tax credit. I think that's a little too much. There's so much going on that needs to be changed. We need to have accountability of where this money is going, and it has to go to that child. This money is not put in for you to get your hair done, your nails, or go to the gym, female or male, whatever it is that male do, women do. I've seen this in the court with a lot of women. Unfortunately, it's sad, but it is what it is. And they are taking care of themselves and not the child with the money, out of spite, out of whatever. And there's a lot of stuff going on like that in the courthouse. I know you see court shows, so yeah, those things really happen. Um, they really do. Some of them are funny and some of them are not so funny. But with that being said, I just hope that we look further into how we can change the laws into making it a fair support. The courts making it fair um, by um, somehow making sure that these parents, whoever the custodial parent is, they would have to submit documentation on proving every 6 months or every year, whatever the case may be, they will have a journal of what has been with proof of how much has been going into the child. And that's all I have to say, because in the end, it's the child that really suffers everything after, you know, things doesn't work out with marriages or relationships. And they're the ones that pay in the end, not us. So with that being said, I'm hoping you all have a great weekend. I'm going to try to do this event. I'm uploading this tape, so I won't be live, as you can tell. And I try to go live next Saturday. Matter of fact, I will. I just want to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on next Saturday. And here I go with my beautiful gavel I created. So with that being said, here on Know Your Truth Real Talk with me, JudgeDesire for Knowledge, the truth and nothing but the truth is adjourned. But this week, it's not Know Your Truth Real Talk. It is Legal Matters. So I will rescript that one and take back my words here on Legal Matters. Real talk is not a part of Legal Matters. So with me, JudgeDesire for Knowledge, the truth and nothing but the truth. And thank you for watching this show. Continue to check me out on YouTube, all social media. Just check it. I'm on most of them anyway, JudgeDesire for Knowledge. And I will check you out, and I will be about tomorrow. So I will be uploading, like I said, at 3 o'clock. I wish you all adieu, adios, ciao, and all the other goodbyes in every language that I don't have time to say. All right, it's Judge Desire for Knowledge checking out. Like, care, and subscribe. And thank you.